Hello and welcome to Module 12. This is the last of the modules where you're adding new information to your research paper, and so you're almost there. You almost have a full draft of this project, which I bet seemed like it was going to be pretty difficult at the beginning of the semester when you first heard about it. In this case, you're going to diagnose potential problems with your data and with your regression analysis that might undermine the inferences you're trying to make. You're going to do this in two central stages. First, you're going to assess the assumptions underlying regression analysis. You can start with the normal distribution assumption. You can assess whether your data is normally distributed by creating histograms of each independent and dependent variable in SPSS. Then you can draw the normal distribution line over the top of the histogram describing your data's distribution and see if it lines up. You should present those histograms in the body of the paper and assess their relative normality or abnormality based on this distribution. The project assignment gives you more information here, but chapters 6, 7, and 8 in the lab book will also give you direct instructions on how to draw these distributions. Next, you should assess the assumption of constant variance in your data. You can do this by drawing scatter plots connecting each independent variable, that'll be on the x-axis, with your dependent variable on the y-axis. When you do this, you can add the regression line, which will run down the middle of the screen in some direction, drawing a best fit line connecting these two variables. And you can see, based on what we covered in earlier modules, whether the variance is generally constant or if it changes a lot as the line progresses across the screen. You can also assess the relative multicollinearity of the variables in your data set by drawing a correlation chart of each independent variable with one another. This will allow you to see if there are any high correlations that might be preventing you from finding statistically significant relationships. That covers the data side of this module. In terms of the analysis side, you're going to want to add a section to the paper describing the implications of your results, if you're right. So assuming you're right in terms of your analysis, what does this mean for theoretical considerations surrounding your topic, as well as for practical concerns in terms of policy? These are two separate sections. For the theoretical considerations, you want to restate the central arguments in the literature on your topic and describe how your results either generate more confidence in those arguments or undermine those arguments or leave them unchanged in some way. That allows you to make a contribution to the theoretical field in which you're doing research. In terms of the practical impact, you want to tell your readers what you would do with the information they now have, or you now have, if you were a policymaker, perhaps if you were some other interested party, or anybody that could use this information. You're doing this work not just because scholars find it interesting to debate these issues. You're doing it because it makes a difference in some relevant way. And that difference is going to be for somebody who can use the data. Maybe it's not a policy-related matter, but maybe different campaigns could use this information. Maybe voters could use the information. Maybe candidates or advocacy groups or somebody promoting a particular policy, they could use this information. Tell us how. Tell us why. Think about how your work is now important to the wider world of public policy or private gains or anything as citizens. I guarantee your work will be important in one of these areas, and I want you to spend part of this next module thinking about that and adding it to your paper. That will show any readers why you're doing this work from a practical standpoint. It's not because the math is interesting. It's not because people really care about political science scholarship. Most people don't, but they do care about the practical impact of your work for policy and for our behavior. That should take you to almost a full draft, and I will see you in the future when we talk about the next steps for putting the draft together and your exams and final due dates. You're almost at the end. Congratulations. See you soon. Bye-bye.